I want to know about conditions in Australia under the pandemic, just kind of in a nutshell. We know what it's like here in North America. We've been through since March when it all started, mid-March. What have you guys experienced down there?
Well, we're currently in our 5th month of lockdown, and so it's easing now a little bit. But during the lockdown, we were very fortunate because the nursery industry was regarded as a necessity. So people could still go and buy plants. So you could go out for your food, you can go out for your medicine, but you're also allowed to go into the boxes that were selling plants and also paints and various things for people to work at home.
Independent garden centers also?
Yes,
okay.
yes. So they're regarded as a necessity.
And that was countrywide, not state by state?
No, total countrywide.
Okay.
I must say that I'm on a committee with the government in promoting plants. And for the last couple of years, we've been pushing the real benefits and mental benefits and social benefits of having plants and putting plants around. And we think that that's really helped to allow the plant industry to remain open. So there was a real craze on plants, on seedlings, and people were buying vegetable seedlings. And a lot of people had never touched seedlings before, were planting them and expecting to have fruit next week and next month. And of course, we know that wasn't going to happen. But the real interest in gardening as people were locked down was phenomenal.
Was it because there's nothing else to do? That's what I sort of attribute it to here. You couldn't go out to eat or the movies or the sports. Nothing left but hang around the garden and realize how bare it is.
100% correct.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned the other day, that we think that there's going to be a real surgence in plants over the next 12, 24 months because this lockdown has brought people back to think about plants that never had time to think about plants because they're all out doing all the other things that people were doing in socializing. So this, I think, is going to have a huge impact. So the people that even tried gardening now, I believe there's going to be a follow-on next year, not the 100% of everybody who'd never gardened before, but I believe 15, 20, 30% of people may continue on with gardening next year. So I think that there's going to be a really good, busy time in the garden centers.
And what's interesting for you is the pandemic really hit kind of in sort of your fall season.
Correct.
Whereas it hit the very beginning of our spring, our biggest season. But for you, fall is still very big. I mean, you said Australia 8 months out of the year, you're able to garden.
I had a look at that, and we sell about 40% of our plants in fall and 60% in spring. So summer and fall is a real big gardening time for us in Australia.
Mm-hmm. So you think the growers and the retailers they're really gearing up for an extra big spring based on their fall right now?
If they've got enough stock.
That's the trick everywhere.
Yeah, they're scrambling to get stock. It's already, a lot of them are totally sold out in fall. So it's now how much time and how much product can they get. From this, I expect that there's going to be an increase in pricing as well, because if there's shortage, things will go up slowly, I believe.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see. We're asking here the same thing. How do we plan for next spring? For you, it's coming up quickly, quicker than us.
Well, for next spring, you can watch our spring, but for next spring, if I was there, I'd be planting an over, you don't go totally stupid, but I would err on the adding extra side.
Get aggressive. Don't get totally stupid, says Anthony Tesselaar. Yeah. Anthony, pleasure as always.
It's a real pleasure. Thank you.
All right.